Oh, excuse me, Miles. Yeah, come on in, Miles. Whew. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Ruth.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Like,
Good morning, Ruth.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? You surviving all these?
Yeah, only 38.
Oh my gosh.
Not as bad as Shakespeare's 38, but
Close, huh? Oh man, you're a trooper. I was like, should we do something like a song and dance, a juggling act, something to break it up for you?
uh, it's like herding cats.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh. Well, we should have three or four people show up, but I never know. So they do.
Keeps it interesting for you, I guess. You're like, who's coming? We're not sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're a volunteer board and they just kind of, or they watch the video afterwards.
Oh, sure.
So we videotape and then I have somebody that packages them up, my media girl. You know, remember Victoria or not?
Victoria, no.
She works at Master Provision. She was involved in Fast Pitch a couple of years. So I didn't know if that you were there at the time or not, but
Okay.
so I've been keeping her busy.
The
Ruth,
video.
we saw the note that you had a lot of demand this time around. Is 38 a normal number of site visits, or is this
No.
extra?
No, usually we have 20.
Okay.
So I would say generally we have maybe 45 LOIs, and then we'll look at 20 or 25. And this time we had 84 and we got it down to 38.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
If that's getting it down.
Hi, Jordan.
Hello, good morning, or
Hello.
afternoon, afternoon, morning.
Hard to say. I'll take it. I just agreed with you. I'm like, yes, it is 8:30 a.m. I'm sure.
So what we generally do is when we get who we think we're getting, like I see Frank, but I know Andy's coming. Then we'll all introduce myself and then pass it to the next person, and then they'll hopefully pass it to the next person. So everybody's not talking at once. And then we'll turn it over to you guys. You introduce who you have and then tell us about your organization. Since nobody, what do you want?
You're not on?
I'm on. Everybody else is on.
It just keeps telling me the host has another meeting in progress. I keep hitting join and it just.
Well, then try another meeting.
Join another meeting.
Well, there might be another one you can join. It looks duplicated somewhat.
I told you, I never got an invitation to this one. I just put it, it's always the same ID number.
I don't know.
Good morning, Ruth.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
How's it going, Richard? I'm doing okay.
Are you guys going to let us see your smiling faces?
Oh, I don't know if it's worth looking at her now.
Hey, Jordan, you might call your father and see if you can help him out.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta get a picture. What do I need to do? Hit that share screen? No?
No, you're there.
Am I there?
You're there.
I'm just dark.
Oh, I don't know what you need. Jordan can help you.
There
I'm not, my beautiful face is not showing.
Oh, well, where's your wife?
She's standing right beside me.
Oh, well, you hit the little thing that says video, stop video, the little camera.
Video. There. Nope. It just,
Can you let Andy in, he said? Is it letting, did you
I
see
don't,
him?
no, I don't see him.
I don't know, it won't work, Ruth.
Frank.
Yes, ma'am.
This says Frank H. Fuse down there. Okay, what does this say? Start my video. Is that it?
Yeah, try it.
you
There it is.
Hey,
Oh,
on screen. Thank you, ma'am. I'm the computer whiz of this outfit.
I'm
No,
so
you're not. No,
So where's
Andy,
the off on switch?
go. They need a special one for us, Frank.
oh. Well, Jordan is still working. Well, how can everybody else get in and he can't?
You're looking good.
You're looking good too.
Well, I don't know, are you looking good from the doctor yesterday?
This one, well, this one is. I mean, it doesn't bother, it hasn't bothered me and it's clearer than it was. This one now is not clear. It'll take 30 seconds. About an hour and a half to go over and
Well, we generally don't have this much trouble getting everybody on. If we did, I'd quit. But all right, I think we got him.
Just a little levity to kick it off, you know?
Sure,
Okay, he should be able to get it. He should be in now.
he should be. All right, you gotta unmute Dick or whatever. Never mind. All right, there he is. Whew.
hello, Andy.
All right, let me start. Oh, we're recording. Okay. Hi, I'm Ruth Cleet, the trustee of the Elsa Sewell Foundation, and next to me is Jordan.
Hello, good morning. Jordan Cleet, Cushro Program Officer for the Elsa Sewell Foundation. I guess, Dick, you're up next.
Dick Murgatroyd. I am a member of the advisory board for the foundation and longtime friend and co-worker of Elsa Sewell for about 25 years.
Frank Hicks, I'm on the advisory board.
Hi, Andy Crusher, advisory board member.
All right, Joel and Sarah, it's up to you.
Take it away, Joel. You can say hello first.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Joel Bockelman, co-founder and executive director of Changing Gears.
And I'm Sarah Jekyll. I'm the development director over here at Changing Gears.
All right, well, Joel, you have received a prize from Elsa Sewell back in the 2015, I think it was, at Social Venture Partners Fast Pitch, but that's it. So besides getting my father's cars and some others, that's about the extent of it. So if you could tell our board about Changing Gears, small history on it, why you started it, quickly how it has evolved, and what you're doing today, and the program that you want funded from Elsa Sewell, and how you'd apply the money.
Yeah, that's great. And that I wouldn't say just for your father's cars. Those Caprices were some of my favorite donations. So he really liked those cars. Yeah, I think, you know, my wife and I started Changing Gears to bring freedom to people who are oppressed, and freedom to people who don't have power, or freedom to people who are stuck. And that's why all of our programs are about bringing freedom. Our existing programs that we'll talk about, and also our exciting new technician training program, which is what this application was for. So excited. We've kind of put together a presentation. I think it'll answer all the things you just mentioned there, Ruth. So
All right, who do I need to make co-host?
you can make Sarah the co-host. She'll run the presentation.
All right. You are now co-host.
What a power trip. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. Make sure this. Wonderful. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Joel, do you want me to take kind of the framework first, or do you want to dive right into Changing Gears specifically?
You know, I think this will answer most of the questions. Sarah's going to do a little review of CityLink Center. I think you all are familiar with CityLink Center through the previous support of the Cornerstone Construction Training, and then we'll dive more deeply into Changing Gears. So you can just go ahead, Sarah.
Great, cool. Yeah, I'm all about the framework and kind of how Changing Gears rolls up into this bigger picture too. So, you know, Cincinnati, this is not the first time you're aware that we do have a poverty issue within Cincinnati. So 1 in 4 of our neighbors are living below the federal poverty level. We service individuals who are 250% below the federal poverty level. That being said, about 40% of our children are then born into poverty. And of those children, they're 6 times more likely to drop out of high school, 32 times more likely to kind of fit back into that vicious cycle of poverty and spend their adult life in poverty, and 7 times more likely to have an unplanned teen pregnancy. There's so many people in Cincinnati who know this is an issue, and there's lots of organizations, as you know, who are even applying for funding to help address this, but oftentimes they're only addressing one aspect of a person's life. So we have a lot of different programs within the city, but kind of an overall system pour of a whole process for somebody to elevate themselves out of poverty. So with this in mind, and within the context of CityLink, the idea came across of what if we can lead our community to reduce and even eradicate poverty with better trackable outcomes, lower costs that are built into kind of an efficiency model of shared resources, and also reconciling divides amongst our neighbors. And so this was kind of the mindset of why Changing Gears is part of CityLink Center. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but if not, here's a brief overview. We're located in the West End of Cincinnati, and it's an 80,000 square foot campus. And the purpose here is to co-locate different social service agencies so that when a person who is in need walks through CityLink's doors, they have access to 14 plus different social service agencies, and they work with a particular service coordinator who hears their stories, what their needs are, and then can sequence different services for that person in a very customizable path that's very personalized for what their actual needs are. So Changing Gears in CityLink Center is located within a few miles of the 10 poorest neighborhoods in Cincinnati. So our location is very strategic of why we're here. And we just place inherent value on every client who walks through our doors, that they can receive dignity and value and love from us as they receive their services. CityLink's approach and kind of the framework for where Changing Gears fits in. Obviously, we've talked about co-location. This, again, helps sequence services so that a client who walks in doesn't have to schedule their own appointments all over the city to try and help elevate themselves out of poverty. They can be here once, meet with somebody who will partner alongside of them, and then help that journey on site. So there's one location for them to come to. Integration is a core service here at CityLink, and that means that the partners can integrate as well. So you'll see, and Joel will talk about this as we talk about new programs that we're developing. It allows us to build a lot of efficiencies within the building here and just kind of brainstorm and ideate really great best practices that are happening in different partners, and how can it be lifted and applied into the other partners as well. So you'll see a lot of efficiencies and learnings that we apply there. And then the last one is volunteer mobilization. This is really integral to all of the partners here. So CityLink recruits and then trains volunteers within the community in all different aspects of services. So when a client walks in the front door, they're greeted by volunteers who help them start their journey here, but they also use partners or volunteers in the different partners. And we can talk about that a bit too when we get into Changing Gears specifically. These are all, I won't go through every one, but I just want you to kind of understand the depth of holistic services that are offered here. So CityLink has higher education, industry pathways with Perscalis, Cornerstone Construction, and then our auto tech program. Culinary was put on hold just because of COVID, and because a lot of people in the restaurant industry were obviously losing their jobs, but that is starting back up. We have CEO here for those who have incarceration history to get back into the labor force, root staffing, financial education. You can see Changing Gears here, removing transportation barriers, childcare facility on site, behavioral health, spiritual counseling. It's pretty robust of the partner services that are offered here. And again, the whole idea and what was so appealing for Changing Gears as well is that every client that we have has access to all of this holistic care. So they're making strides with transportation and industry training, and they're also making strides in so many other areas as well. Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. So that context just really helps show kind of a lot about Changing Gears, kind of our past, and then the exciting stuff for our future. And so it's just, thanks for setting that context. Our mission at Changing Gears is to remove transportation barriers for people who are working their way out of poverty. We do this through a few different programs, but it's best just to help get to meet our clients and kind of see how those programs play out. On average, our clients are, when they come in, they're 250% below or below 250% of the federal poverty guideline, making less than $9,000 a year. You can kind of see the breakout of the demographics there as well. But we have a great story to share about one of our clients, Rebecca. She was recently, a video was put together on this about, that really captures some of her story. It talks a lot about how she came through Cornerstone, which will be great for you all to see, and also her interaction with Changing Gears.
There's always going to be barriers. You'll get discouraged because it's human of us to be discouraged. but don't give up. My name is Rebecca, and I work in construction, and I work with A&A Wall Systems. A&A Wall Systems is a drywall company, and we hang, we frame, and we finish drywall. I realized what I really wanted to be around the age of 10 or 11. I wanted to build, but I didn't know the actual way that I would be able to. My grandfather was a contractor, so I was with him a lot at different sites, and I pretty much wanted to do what he did. I left home at 16. I had to start working, then I had to get a GED because high school really wasn't a part of the picture anymore. And before I found a job, I kind of allowed the streets to guide me down the wrong path, as I would say, and that landed me in jail. For me, there were so many doors shut in my face, and I tried to stay positive, but there's a point where you just get tired, and with those doors being shut in my face were more opportunities, I felt like, for me to just go back to what I was doing, which led to more charges and being incarcerated and just a revolving door that was never ending. There's no excuse as to getting in trouble. I take full responsibility on that. You work the dead-end job until you find better. Wanting more is okay, but working for it is better, so you don't lose time out of your life. I discovered CityLink with the CEO program, which is a reentry program from prison, and it pretty much saved my life. They motivated me to keep a job, and the CEO program, they showed me how to really interview, how to present myself. They showed me how to, own a room. I didn't have any transportation. I was catching buses and taxis to get from where I needed to go. They helped me get a car, so I was able to hold a job with that because I was able to have reliable transportation. I obtained my OSHA 10, my NCCER, and there were so many more. I've graduated almost all the classes. It's residential, commercial, industrial. It's great. It's better than the fast food restaurants and doing housekeeping. It's more satisfying. I feel like I'm paid for my work now. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. And I'm proud of my work. I can sit back and look at my work after I'm done and I really did that. And that's a really good feeling. There's always barriers.
There we go.
Awesome. We love Rebecca's story, and it's so fun to get updates and see how long these relationships are for. Rebecca actually bought a car from us back in 2018, used that car when she was able to get to Cornerstone Construction and making it through the program. And then now she's been out working at A&A Wall Systems, which is fantastic. She was back recently. We had a groundbreaking for the expansion at CityLink Center, and she was sharing some of her story. And she said, at one point she was homeless, and now she's making $60,000 a year and has 2 cars and an apartment. And so it's just so awesome to see the impact over a long period of what's possible there. So Changing gears, some of our history. So we have a proven track record of executing programs that remove transportation barriers. This is our purchase program. This is what we got started with, where we restore donated cars and sell them at half off with a no interest loan. This is kind of like Habitat for Humanity, but for cars. Sold 175 cars for that program. We have a 98% loan completion rate. So a lot of great success there. We then expanded to our repair program, which is repairing cars for people who already owned a vehicle. So this is open to anyone at CityLink Center. We've had almost 200 repair visits in that program. It's another great way to help clients keep their cars rather than needing to get another car, and just a way to expand our capacity. And then most recently, we launched our Bridge program, which is an exciting way to eliminate the gap between jobs and cars. Often there's how do you get a job without a car, and how do you save for a car without a job? And the Bridge program really addresses that. And we've seen a lot of great success there. COVID I'll talk about this later, but kind of talked about reduce some of the clients coming into CityLink, and had to reduce, like Sarah mentioned, the culinary training. That's a place our Bridge cars came through. Construction had to hit pause, but now they're started back up. And so we saw kind of a slowdown there in the Bridge sales, but it's still an awesome program that we're really excited about. We also have a history of collaborating with partners, and this is supporting partners. You saw that in that video, but also co-creating new programs like our Bridge program and the technician training program, which we'll dive into now. So a lot of this is based on other industry pathway programs that we've seen at CityLink, Cornerstone, Culinary, IT through Perscolis. We've kind of learned from all of those, and then crafted it to fit with automotive technician training program. It's a 6-week full-time training program, hard and soft skills, all the services that are available at CityLink Center. We're only targeting an industry that has a demand for jobs. This is one of the major concerns in the automotive industry, is lack of technicians, and we see this in a lot of trades. We want positions where they're able to pay at least $15 an hour, but also have a real pathway to a long-term career. One of the other important pieces that we learned from Cornerstone was have an industry advisory council. And so we have our own industry advisory council with representation from dealerships and independent shops and chain shops. We're looking to add fleet services and just all the different ways that technicians can get started in the industry and then move around throughout their career. Really help to kind of shape our program as well. Specific to the technician training program, I mentioned this, but there's a growing automotive technician shortage. We did a survey of local shops just as part of kind of the research and starting this, and this is the #1 concern of local shops, is how are they going to be able to find technicians. A study of for the whole U.S., they expect in another 3 years to be short 400,000 technicians if something doesn't change. So we're excited to step into this gap with this new program. Trainees will specifically be prepared for, in the industry, it's called a lube technician position. This is kind of that, they're not entry level, one step above, and dealerships. They focus on oil changes, tires, both installation and repairs, and vehicle assessments. This is often the gateway to the service center at a dealership or to the rest of the garage at a smaller independent shop. And it's a really important position, great way to get experience, and a great way to have opportunities to advance your career from there. We are currently doing our first pilot test of this program. Launched on April 5th. So we're 3 weeks in. I say that we're learning as much about running a training program as our trainees are learning about becoming technicians. And so it's awesome. We're pilot testing this. You'll see we've got a little site visit video of how we're doing this in our current facility and preparing for a new facility in the future, where we'll have a full launch of this program starting in next year. Wanted to look at the budget. We can have questions stuff afterwards. We want to make sure we're addressing questions that you guys wanted to cover. This is a summary budget for this year, where we're looking at having 2 classes and 6 to 8 per class. In this, it's worked out with 6. But this is just where the money would be spent, where it would be applied to. So there's expenses for certifications that are offered to clients or to trainees. There's personal protective equipment. We provide steel-toed work boots that are oil resistant and slip resistant and things that they're going to need when they go start their careers. Also tools so that they can go get started. There's enrollment expenses, instruction, and then just overhead of the shop. So you can kind of see the breakout per student. We're looking at about $3,600 per student to go through one of our classes. Doing 2 classes this year, and then for this year, what our total expenses would be. Some of these expenses will go down with scale when we're able to roll out to where we're having, 4 of these classes a year and 10 to 12 students per class. So this is our goals and outcomes. So we're in our first program, our first cohort, but we've also can kind of look at, as we've modeled it off of Cornerstone, what some of our expected outcomes will be. Our goals are that there is progression along all 7 resource areas that we talk about a lot around CityLink Center. We're looking to have 16 clients engaged this year, 85% job placement rate, over $15 an hour, where you can start to move towards a livable wage, and then a full rollout, looking to have over 40 clients a year coming through this training program. Some of the cool stuff we've seen with Cornerstone is that wage increase. So on average, clients coming into Cornerstone are making about $12,000 a year. After graduation, they're making $41,000. You heard it with Rebecca, where she's already making $60,000 a year. So just a massive increase and having a big impact, getting that wage increase up. They have an 85% job placement rate. That's where we set our benchmark for, $15 an hour jobs, and they have 10 hiring partners in their industry advisory council. That's something we're looking to increase as well as we continue. So that's the kind of outcomes we're looking for. What's next is, as we grow our technician training program, one of the big needs is more space to be able to host this at. So CityLink launched a capital campaign. It's 90% funded. In this map you see here, there's kind of a light green building. That's our current building where we are at now. And then the blue building is the new building that is underway and being built. It's a pre-engineered steel structure. All the steel was just delivered this morning. So it's awesome to see the foundation coming up, and we'll talk about that, but construction is underway, looking to move into that in September. I think there's another picture here of what kind of some of the renderings. Again, so this is just down the street. We'll see this in the video. In this facility, there's going to be room for 8-bay garage, so we're able to expand our existing programs and have room for the lab space to be able to expand the technician training program. Also some classroom space that we just don't have in our current facility. So we'll be able to do the classroom and out the hands-on in the garage.
Wasn't Tool Bank in that area? Cincinnati
Yes,
Tool Bank?
it was. Yeah, Tool Bank moved in 2019
Right.
up off a paddock around there, and that building has been demolished where Tool Bank was. That'll be the space between our current building and the new building. And then there's going to be other partners move around as part of that expansion. Yes. And then lastly, we you guys might be interested. I think it's just a common thing of how COVID has impacted changing gears. So we have been able to safely remain open the entire time. Initially, we were able, considered, fell under the essential business in Ohio. So we were able to maintain offering some services. We were hit pretty hard. There was a 30% decrease in donated vehicles. And donated vehicles drive a lot of the sort of the financial engine of changing gears, but we were able to adjust, and we were able to get a lot of funding through the Paycheck Protection Program. So we got, you see dollars there, both in the first and second round. The first round has been totally forgiven. We're currently, applying the funds from the second round towards our payroll. So we fully expect that to be forgiven as well. That was a big help for us over the past year. We shifted a focus towards demand for car repairs. So the demand for sales went down just because fewer clients were coming through CityLink Center, but the demand for repairs was there to keep their cars running. And so we've just kind of shifted, and it's been great to be able to kind of meet demand where it's at. excited that as of this week, 80% of our staff is fully vaccinated. And so we're excited to be moving forward. It really hit with March and April, where it just feels like things are coming back to life. Cornerstone happened, construction happened in April, or in March. Our program started in April. And so it's just great to see the center come back to life. So lastly, I wish we were able to do a site visit in person. We came up with this little video tour coming through our center. So Sarah, you can take it there.
I don't even want to get off that smiling face there. That is cool. A screenshot.
Hi, everybody. Really excited to show you the space here at Changing Gears. I'd love to be able to do it in person, but like everything this year, we're going to pivot and we're going to roll with this as our virtual site visit. So come on in. Actually, coming in the back part of our garage. All of this space was used for different things before, but we had to adjust a little bit so that we can pilot test our technician training program. Right now, we're about 3 weeks into our first program. Over here is where we do oil changes. So oil changes are going to be one of the most important things that they're doing as lube technicians at dealerships and independent repair shops. So we've set this space up so that they can see lots of different applications, different cartridge filters or spin-on filters, so that they can see a little bit of everything before they go out and they're actually doing this on the job. So this is where we do all of our oil changes. The 3 things that we're going to be focusing on are oil changes, tires, and vehicle assessments. So that's what they're going to become really proficient in the 6-week program. So that's oil changes. Next up is our tire changing lab. So we've converted this part of our shop to focus on tires. Over here we've got tire changing and wheel balancing equipment. Over here, this is our older equipment, which we had, and then we were able to get some grant funding to get brand new tire changer and wheel balancer. And we're really excited about this because, one, they're going to see lots of different equipment, but with the older equipment, we can show them the fundamentals. It's the same process, but the new equipment has a lot of safety features and things that just make it easier. So we're able to train them on this one, get the fundamentals down. Then we're able to, on the new equipment, get them ready for the stuff that they're going to be using, especially if they go to dealerships or newer garages. That's where they're going to be using this exact same Hunter equipment that's out there. And that's changing tires and balancing them. We also are set up to teach them how to fix when tires get damaged. If they get a puncture in it, so that we're able to save the tire and customers don't have to buy new tires. So this is all part of the tire training. We are doing a TIA, Tire Industry Association certificate for our clients, for the trainees. And we actually had the first part, we're 3 weeks into this program, and all of our trainees passed their certification, so we're really excited about that. So after tires, then we are going to do vehicle assessments, and up here is where we've got 3 lifts that we had existing in our space. And this is where we're going to do vehicle assessments. So something cool about this lift that I do just want to point out is that in 2015, we were in Fast Pitch with Social Venture Partners. And we won the grand prize that year, and that year it was sponsored by the Sewell Foundation. So we won the $10,000 prize, and we used it to expand from 2 bays to 3 bays. So we bought that lift and we bought the tools so that we were able to expand the capacity of the garage. And it's been awesome having that since then. So up here is Eric Dallas. He is our master technician, and he's doing a lot of the training for the program. So Eric, why don't you just say hi to everybody and talk us a little bit about the vehicle assessments and what you're training students in the program.
All right, hi guys. It's important that the technicians enter the tech industry or the automotive industry knowing how to spot problems, identifying preventative maintenance that has been neglected, because a lot of times drivers are unaware of that. So if you can spot the problem, address it, and then get the vehicle back on the road safe and reliable, that's the goal at the end of the day.
Awesome. So we're 3 weeks in. What's been the best part about the program so far?
The best part about the program is getting to train the next generation of technicians, especially with there being a shortage.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
See ya.
Great. So another important member of our team is Katie Frazier. Katie Frazier, she's our program director.
So being a program director means I make sure our clients are guided through all of our programs and have everything they need to be successful. I'm super excited about our new technician training program. I think it's a big step in a new direction for changing careers.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. So then one last stop is we've talked about the new building, and just to be able to show you where that's at, we'll head out the front door here. Might be a little noisy because construction is happening right now. So. Where all the construction's happening, literally just about 2 doors down. Starting with, we're going to build a brand new facility here that's going to have room for the technician training lab space in the shop, but also a classroom where we'll be able to do both of that in one building. What you see kind of under the wrap now is the foundation. So it's actually just starting now. Should be putting steel up next month, and construction is expected to complete in September. That's when we'll move in. So thank you guys so much. Got a little sorry. A little noise in the background, but that's okay. Really excited to get to show all this to you and hope to show you this in person someday. Thank you.
Awesome. I hope that video worked. Both those videos worked for everybody. Got a little jumpy on my end, but hopefully you're able to see all that. So we'd love now to just jump into questions and see what questions you all have.
I just have one for you, Joel, and it might have been, I might have missed it when I was reading over the application and just kind of in the talking here, but when I was looking at the, you had that kind of that budget slide up, you don't need to pull it up again. You had one thing, one tab for enrollment. Are the students paying any sort of initial, very small entry fee to kind of have the skin in the game to kind of motivate them to either show up, put 110% effort into it, or is it completely free for them to kind of go through and complete the technician training program?
Yeah, for the students, it is free. That enrollment cost or expense is the expenses to advertise and to get folks into the program and any cost there. So that's what that's not coming from the technicians. We even thought a little bit more about trying to figure out, can we figure out a stipend for this program? We're not providing any kind of stipend for this program, and trainees, I think their skin in the game, because we love that model when we're selling cars, but their skin in the game is showing up every day. And so for 6 weeks to make this work for their schedule, some are working other jobs at the same time. And I just know that trying to make that work is really challenged. So the program is free.
I don't know.
So how are the first 3 weeks going? 3 weeks? What week is it? You started what, on April 5th, you said? Correct?
Yeah,
everything
we're
going
3
smooth
weeks
so far? I know it's pilot, so I know you'll probably hit some speed bumps you probably didn't think about, and things come up because that's just kind of how it goes when new things happen.
It is all of it is a success because we are learning a lot. It's great to see the development already from the first week to now. You guys got to see some of the trainees in that video. Just yesterday, one of them, Jamila, was totally changing a tire all by herself. There's a lot of little steps in that to do it right. And so it's awesome to see the development through the training. So, but we're learning a lot about how we can try things for the next cohort. Right now, we're planning to do another pilot run in our current facility later this year in the fall. And so we're already tweaking and making changes, getting ready for that.
You haven't filled up enrollment for that yet, have you?
No, we've not.
Okay.
Yep.
So you give your students their tools?
Yeah, so during the program, each trainee is working out of a toolbox. And then at the end, we're going to provide a basic set of hand tools so that they can have those when they go to start work. It's interesting because some dealerships and shops, they actually don't want this level position to bring in tools. They say, we'll provide everything. If they have their own tools they want to bring, that's okay. but other shops do want them to bring some tools with them. And so we want them to have a good basic set of hand tools so that they can start their career.
How much is that set of tools that you give them?
We've targeted $500 for that set of tools.
Well, I guess following up on what Jordan said, would that be a good point to have some investment from them?
Yeah, it could. Like I said, we've watching the other programs and kind of using it as an incentive because it's really hard to. I mean, they're here from 8 to 2:30 every day, and so to do that full-time training is where we feel like that's the skin in the game from them.
Okay. So can you take the hydraulic lifts and everything? Is all of your equipment movable?
Yes, it is. So all the equipment, the 3 lifts that we have in our current space, I'm happy we were able to show the one that we bought with the funding before. But yes, we'll be able to move all of those into the new space. And that should be, they're saying September. You always know how construction goes. So we'll see when we get in there, but the goal is September. We'll be able to get it set up. We recently got some funding through, it's called the Social Impact Fund through Engage Partners to buy the equipment, the additional lifts and equipment for the shop. So that part is set up, and then we'll be able to get that in and then move our new stuff in, or our existing stuff after we get the certificate of occupancy and can move into the new space.
Have you thought about reaching out to the Weiler Foundation by chance for support of this program?
We've not connected with the Weiler family or Weiler Foundation. We are working with the Toyota, Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati is part of our industry advisory council, as well as Castrucci, Mike Castrucci dealerships. So, but this is where we really see dealerships for the volume. So the more dealership families that we can get connected with, the better. So I don't know if you guys have any connections with that, or if that's just something we can go and pursue the Weiler Foundation as well.
Yeah, I don't have any connections. I was just thinking of one of the car dealership foundations that I know it kind of seems like a natural thing to offer them, offer support. And then you kind of have this pipeline of trained and ready people to kind of go into their dealerships.
And we're excited that we're really meeting a need we're solving a problem for the dealerships as well. This is something that they have to have these technicians. And so it's great to get those connections.
What's the difference between the program at Cincinnati State, I assume they still have one, or at some of the vocational centers versus yours?
It's a great call out. And we do not see ourselves as competing with those programs. So Cincinnati State is a 2-year program. And so it just takes longer to get through. It is a lot more formal training. And at the end of the 2 years, people can start their testing for ASE certifications, which is a great thing. The Oaks, like Scarlet Oaks and Great Oaks, they have an adult program that is 10 months, basically one school calendar year. Again, you're going to get some more formal training there. Where we're going after is a niche where our trainees are not able to go through those programs. I mean, they could, but it's just the time commitment where we're just drilled in on this niche of folks that can get trained quickly and start working. We certainly, in our program, we talk about other continuing education opportunities. So they would be amazing, go work as a loop technician and then move on. And while they're doing that job, go to one of the Oaks programs in the evening if they would want to continue to go after those certifications, or Cincinnati State has offered evenings as well. So that's how we kind of see ourselves slotting in there with those other programs.
And how is the electric vehicle revolution going to affect what you do?
Yeah, it's a great call out. So it's interesting to talk to shops and ask that same question. What do they see? What do they see happening? Number I hear is on like a Tesla, there's like 18 moving parts. On any other car with a regular gas engine, there's like 2,000 moving parts. And so just that maintenance will go down. But fun part is that all those cars have tires. They all need alignments. They all have suspension. And these are the things that are our trainees will be able to do. The other big thing is we're one of the shops in our industry advisory council is Ulmer's Auto Care. They have 3 locations, one in Southgate, one in Milford, and one in Anderson. And they actually have it's called ADAS Center. It's all the sensors and cameras that are coming out on both gas cars and electric cars. Anytime as these advanced kind of driver systems, if there's any kind of accident, anytime there's a windshield replaced, all of these cameras need to be recalibrated so that the whole system works together. So we're actually going to go spend a day out at Ulmer's at their ADOT center working on alignments, but it'll be great to just kind of expose our trainees to what's coming in the future. So I think it's just going to be a transition. They're still going to need to have technicians.
They, the ones that you're training now, they enter into these other programs. I mean, with the training they have, because a lot of cars are computer oriented now. So everything, computers drive so much of the operations of cars. So can they, if they want to and desire to, they can move to, does Cincinnati State teach that, or does Oakley teach that?
Yeah, what we're planning on for our program is we really want to go after mastery. And so when someone masters oil changes and masters tires and vehicle assessments, we're going to have part of a big thing is digital vehicle assessments. So just doing things on the computer to be able to do the assessment. And part of that is what I think you're talking about is a lot of the scan tools that they have to hook up to be able to check any of the systems on a car. So this is part of the pilot, is how much of that to put in. But what we're hearing from employers is we got to focus on the mechanical stuff, the oil changes, tires, assessments, and then even at the shop they can do a lot of that training on what is the tools and equipment that are necessary. Or like you mentioned, you could go after one of the Great Oaks programs or Cincinnati State. But a lot of it is really just hands-on. And being able to get that experience. Once they get into a shop, they'll be able to work alongside of other technicians who are using all those systems that you mentioned.
Does Gateway have any kind of program at all?
Yeah, Gateway does. They have an awesome center. It was a former dealership where they have automotive program very similar to Cincinnati State. And so I think we, could be work with Gateway the same way we hope to sort of, slot ourselves in with Cincinnati State as well.
Yeah, I would hope you could, because I was part of the formation of that whole program as far as community college was concerned. So we really want to get them involved in being more active in the community, doing those kind of things, that kind of teaching. And it's I think the more that they do get involved, the better they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, do you have anything?
I thought it was very interesting. My father was in the automobile business over 40 years, and comparing, what was going on in those garages and, what you are doing was a little bit of a jump. But,
yeah.
I know on cars, one time I was away at school, came back for Christmas, and we always got our Christmas presents, and then we had breakfast. Well, I didn't get a stinking thing, what the devil's going on here? So Dad said, let's go have breakfast. And I looked outside and there was a 1921 T, and that was my Christmas present. And I got in that car and I kept it for a couple of years. I was always away, so I got rid of it. But I ended up with more antifreeze in me than the car had. But another thing I want to mention, I just think your presentation was excellent, very professional, and I tell you, it was neat. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Be awesome to still have that 21T now. That's great. Thank you.
Andy, you have anything?
One quick question. I noticed on the application for this program, the other funding was just 2 other people, looked like the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, which may have given you 20, and somebody else, which I don't know if it's pending, and then just us. So if we didn't give to you, or you didn't get all we got, it looks like you'd fall short by, 13,000 or so. Are you just going to take that from somewhere else for the program, or what other contingencies do you have for it?
Sarah, do you want to?
Yeah,
for
so
that
at
one?
the time of this application, those were our active applications, and we are always kind of prospecting for pipelines in both for operating, like program operations, and the capital for our new expansion. And so we do have another application in process here with P&G alumni for operating capital to help with fund the other side of this program. So we're always, my job is always prospecting for new opportunities.
And we hope, and we thought it was just a great fit with you all because of your experience with Cornerstone. And sometimes it's takes a lot of courage to fund something that is still in a pilot stage and see that potential for it. I do think once we have graduates and we have stories and we have trainees that are out in programs, I mean, that is our plan to continue going after grants from foundations for this. And that'll be a little bit, I don't want to say easy, but it'll be great to be able to show those stories. So, but we are just excited for this opportunity.
And I had just one other little comment, not to be that negative or anything, because I like the program, but for myself as a board member, sometimes when I look at stuff, I noticed on your application, you have like 9 board members, but only like 66% actually give money to the program. Sometimes that's like, to me, just a little red flag. It's not that big a deal, but sometimes I just look at that and go, well, if they're not willing to put their money where their mouth was, invest in the program, why should we look at it? Is that something you're trying to work on, that you get 100% participation financially from the board?
Yeah, that's a good call out. We do not have a required giving for our board members. So it's a volunteer board. I want their advice and their expertise more than their dollars. It is a great point when you say, you gotta show your money where your mouth is and show that they're leading with that commitment. But for me, as we started this organization, it's people that we trust and people that have expertise in different areas. So there is no requirement to give for our board members, but most are, and what maybe doesn't show up there is, they've donated cars, or they've made connections, or they've served on committees and done all the other stuff there. So
yeah, no, it's not the end of the world. I just something I look at sometimes. It's small potatoes. I just throw it out there.
Yeah, how do people find out about you? How do they find out about CityLink? Because the whole process is amazing. With what you're doing just in that complex, because that's half the battle is simplifying the process for these people to be able to get answers and questions and find help. And I think that's one of the things we've run into early on in working with some of the agencies that I work with. But it's just that the people, it was so complicated for them to just find the help they needed. They had to go to so many places, and I think for them it's just too much. So how do they find out about you?
Yeah, so
go ahead, Sarah.
I was gonna say, there are a few different ways that we get out into the community with word. Actually, word of mouth from clients who have graduated from programs is about 70% of the new clients that we get in. So that is a very kind of grassroots, effective way to get word out into the community. But there are also lots of other different ways that we're proactively seeking new clients. We have a spiritual advisory council here, and led by Pastor Jim Strayhorn, who is the spiritual director here. And so he has inroads with lots of different churches in the community, and oftentimes within the neighborhoods of the clients that we are serving. So we've gotten a lot of recruitments from those churches, or even just connections, people in the church who know of somebody and say like, hey, you're in kind of this deficit in your life. Why don't you go check out CityLink. We also have a full-time dedicated staff member here now at CityLink who is working with other organizations within the area, Free Store Food Bank. She's over at St. Vincent de Paul. Again, kind of like just that cross-reference of resources to let other organizations know that CityLink exists, and also for them to, if they run across people who may see benefit of CityLink, to bring them in. And then we're always doing social media pushes. So we have a digital presence for push, and we've actually seen, especially with our industry pathway trainings, and particularly this past Cornerstone construction cohort that came through, several of the individuals who actually graduated the program had seen a Facebook ad with one of their kind of neighbors graduating the program and speaking on behalf of it. So we've seen a lot of success from social media as well, of just getting awareness out there. And Joel, if you want to add in.
The requirement is that your clients come through CityLink. You just don't take anybody off the street that sees changing gears. They have to come in the program through CityLink before you'll work with them, right?
That's correct. Yeah. And if you know, if someone hears about the program, then we just say, that's awesome, you want to do that. First step is getting connected with CityLink Center. I was going to say about getting the word out. We're always trying to do that. This is one of the benefits that we didn't really anticipate with the technician training program, but we're already seeing it, is where it's just expanding our network. Right now it's through this industry advisory council, but we're really excited as the trainees, as the graduates go out and are working at local shops and dealerships. One cool piece is someone that's on the advisory council. There's actually 2 of the current trainees are at a dealership, kind of that most entry level is called a lot technician, and they're just moving cars around and kind of doing most stuff. The next up is this lube technician, where we're trying to get our trainees ready for. 2 of the trainees are actually lot technicians, and we didn't really think about this as really like an upskilling and an acceleration to be able to move into those positions. And so it's great to see how the word is spreading, and just how that network is expanding as we're launching this new program.
There's a lot of promotion on TV right now especially for automobile, repair people. That I don't know if the state runs that or where that comes from, but I mean, every time I'm almost throughout the day, there is a spot out there saying we need this many technicians, because we're hurting. So I don't know who puts that on. Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I'm thinking, that would be interesting, just to maybe see, find out where that's coming from. I'll watch next time when I look at it, because it's there so much, it's in the background, but I'll try to look and see who sponsors that and where that comes from, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. I'll check it out, but yeah, if you catch it, that would be great.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I don't. Everything is pretty well spelled out. It seems like the process. Sorry again for the delay and caused by spam mail of getting back to you, but really glad we were able to pull this off still this week.
Appreciate your agility and quickness with that after sitting in the spam folder.
Yeah, well, after 3 times, I think, well, maybe it's the spam folder. So that's why I called.
I appreciate that, because I had been like, I knew that there was supposed to be a scheduled site visit, but I also know they're very busy. I think I'll reach out. And then Joel called. So well, that is good timing. So appreciate that.
Our board meets a week from today, actually, on April 29th. And we like to get back to everybody within a week of the meeting. So that first week of May, you'd be hearing back from us.
That's great.
Thank you
Look forward to
very
hearing
much.
from you then. Go ahead.
Oh, just thanks for taking time this morning to meet with us. We appreciate it.
Great. Look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we can give you guys a tour in person sometime.
Okay,
Great.
thanks.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Good presentation.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.